Unfortunately, content creators that discuss entrepreneurship, investing, and sell courses or services are often looked at as scammers. Every now and then I get asked, why do I sell courses if I'm successful in other business ventures, and that somehow I'm being disingenuous. In today's video, I'm covering all my business ventures and how being a content creator and these businesses are all interconnected. On this channel, I cover living globally and how to afford it. My name is Carl Pierre, and this is ENTP Life. My primary business and driver of income are my healthcare companies. My start in being an entrepreneur really started with my mom. She decided to start a nursing agency and I assisted her with that. I later on became a partner of that business. And then we went into home healthcare, which is essentially taking those same nurses that we staffed in nursing homes and hospitals and using them to provide one-on-one services in the homes of patients. Those are my primary businesses and continue to be a major driver of income till this day. From the money that I generated from healthcare, I invest in real estate and now hold a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. When you start to make a little more money than what you need to survive, that's when things start to get interesting because that surplus money is the money that you should be using to invest in other asset classes. And for me, the first asset class that I felt comfortable with was real estate. So after building up enough money from my job as an X-ray tech, money coming in from the businesses, I started to look at accumulating a larger portfolio of real estate. What I did was from each kind of month or quarter of profits, I would turn around, find a house that was distressed, buy it 20% down, rehab it with a hard money loan, and then I would either flip it for a profit or keep it in my portfolio if it would rent for cash flow in a positive way. And every single quarter, or even the first time, it was like every year I'd have enough money to do one of these properties. And then business grew, and then it became maybe twice a year. And with money from flips and money from the business itself, I was able to get to a pace where I was doing 10 to 15 properties a year. As my healthcare companies grew, so did the problems. Managing a workforce of healthcare professionals working at work sites and in patient homes was quite a handful. In 2015, I built out software to help my business run a little more efficiently, which leads me to my SaaS company. One of my failed businesses, which I don't talk about too much on this channel, was a fashion tech company called StyleScan. And when I was trying to raise money for StyleScan, I remember one investor told me, your entire life history and your entire life work seems to be concentrated in healthcare. Why aren't you solving a problem technically in healthcare? And then I started to think about my home healthcare business and what was missing. And then I decided to develop a software solution that would allow us to manage our workforce a little more efficiently than we were doing with just paper. And that's where the idea for this platform was born. On Time is a practice management tool for home healthcare, social adult daycare, and healthcare staffing agencies that allows you to run your business with an entire team right from your desktop computer. It also integrates with a mobile application so that the people who are working in the field, both at nursing homes, hospitals, or in patients' homes, are able to punch in. On the social adult daycare side, it kind of functions in the reverse because at a daycare center, the adults come in looking for services, they get meals, etc., and you need to log each visitor so that you can bill the insurance company. So On Time was augmented to serve that purpose. And now we lease this software out to companies that I just mentioned. If for some reason you want to check out how that software all works, you can visit www.ontimeits.com, register for a demo, and you can see whether or not it will work for your company. I know a lot of people who follow me are nurses or people who are trying to get into the home care space. You should definitely check it out and see if it's a service that will work for you. I used to be a hater of social media. I saw it as a total waste of time and a tool for narcissistic people to showcase and show off for themselves. My hobby and love for cooking became its own channel, and that's where I actually got my start as a content creator right here on YouTube. The problem with that channel was I'm an ENTP personality type, so I got bored, and at the same time, I was getting asked, how do I invest in real estate so often that I figured that I would launch ENTP Life to show people how to do so, and it evolved into this whole new thing. When I first started ENTP Life, one of the things that I knew would be a problem for me was the long-term editing. Actually, with my other channel, Hook It Up, I already had an editor on deck, and I said, you know what, let me transition away from that channel and focus that editor on this new content. And I was like, you know what, this is the sort of content I could stick with because for me, it wasn't hard to be myself. The cooking channel was only one dimension of who I am, but being able to do a channel about all my business ventures and the things that I'm interested in, I knew I would never get tired of. But I knew I would certainly get tired of the editing. And then I started to think, if I'm going to be paying an editor out of pocket, then I need to really figure out how am I going to monetize this channel so that I'm making enough money to cover the editor's salary? And remember, I had an editor in place way before I even got monetized, and that was costing me a few $100s every single month just to put out content that I found interesting. So the wheel started turning, and I was like, you know what? Either way, if I'm putting money out of my pocket, I might as well set up a corporation so that I could take advantage of that spend in the form of a deduction. So all the money that I was spending on editors and trying to create my content, new equipment, etc., I would take money from my post-tax dollars, put it into ENTP Life as a business, and spend down from there so that I would be able to offset my taxes with that negative income in the company. Remember, if you have a company that has pass-through financials and it's showing a loss, you could claim that loss on your tax returns to offset your income and get a larger refund. So I knew that that was going to be part of the strategy up until we got to monetizing the channel enough to pay for the expenses. And once I started thinking about, well, how am I going to monetize this channel? That's where the idea started to come from. And this is common with any business that you go out and start. If you start a business, your main focus is to generate revenue and turn a profit. And once you start getting into that business, you start to see all the opportunities that exist, all the problems that exist, and then you start to build solutions for those problems, hence the ability to monetize whatever product or service that you're offering. To be clear, the first bits of money that we made at ENTP Life was our ad revenue. And I did a video on that. I'll probably insert a card up above that talks about my first YouTube check, but that was where that revenue came in. I wanted all the revenue to be pointed at an entity and start building from there. My social media journey started in 2019, and as of 2022, ENTP Life averaged $15K a month in revenue, with some months spinning off over $50K. For me to explain how that's all possible and the businesses I've created from social media, you're gonna have to check out this next video where I break down my social media monetization and some of the other ways I fund living wherever I want.